Picture this. You're standing on a job site, got your rig all set up, and you're staring at an absolutely gorgeous, bloody expensive flower bed right under a filthy, red-stained render wall. You've got sodium hypochlorite in your tank, and your heart is probably doing a bit of a flutter, because you know that if you get this wrong, you're looking at a massive bill from a very angry homeowner. Now, the biggest mistake I see new contractors make is they just don't understand plant biology. They think, oh, I'll just spray and hope for the best. But here is the thing. When a plant is dry, it's thirsty, right? It's literally gasping for a drink. If you spray your Softwash mix near a dry plant, that plant is going to go, thank you very much, and suck that sodium hypochlorite deep into its leaves and roots instantly. It is a death sentence for the garden. So what do we do? Well, your first and absolute best line of defense is a simple water shield. Before you even think about touching a chemical valve, you need to drench the entire area with pure water. Wet the leaves, wet the soil, saturate it to the point where the plant has had a massive drink and simply cannot absorb any more liquid. If the plant cells are already full of clean water, they can't drink your chemical mix. It's basic physics, really. But here is another trap, the classic blue tarpaulin. People think, oh, I'll just chuck a heavy tarp over the flower bed and I'm safe. Do not do this on a hot day. If the sun is beating down, that heavy plastic tarp turns into a greenhouse steamer. You will literally cook and steam those delicate flowers, and that heat trapping is often way more destructive than the actual chemical runoff would have been. If you must cover them, use a light, breathable landscaping fleece, but honestly, water is your best friend. Now here is a pro tip that we used to use all the time at Mr. Clever Clean. It's called a physical water curtain. If it's a bit breezy and you're worried about airborne chemical mist drifting onto a neighbour's prize-winning roses, get an assistant or set up a sprinkler to spray a constant mist of pure water between your working area and the plants. If any Softwash overspray tries to float across, it hits that water curtain, gets instantly knocked down to the ground, and gets watered down. Remember my favourite motto in this industry: dilution is the solution to pollution. It's simple, it's effective, and it saves you a world of pain. Now, what happens once the chemical actually hits the ground? Because, let's face it, sodium hypochlorite eventually breaks down into salt. And salt in high concentrations behaves exactly like a powerful weed killer. It ruins the soil, it dehydrates the root systems, and a couple of weeks later, the grass starts turning brown. But we have some brilliant neutralizing hacks for this. Have you ever heard of horticultural gypsum pellets? They look a bit like dry dog food, and you can buy them from any good agricultural store. If you are working near sensitive soil, sprinkle these gypsum pellets onto the garden bed beforehand. When you rinse down your Softwash, those pellets will actually attract and trap the salt, neutralizing it and conditioning the soil at the same time. It's a complete game changer for protecting root systems. But wait, it gets even better. There is a brilliant little trick involving liquid fertilizer. At the end of the job, during your final rinse, use a garden hose attachment to spray a mild liquid fertilizer over the grass and flower beds. The organic compounds in the liquid fertilizer will instantly react with any tiny trace elements of remaining sodium hypochlorite, neutralizing the bleach on contact. Plus, the homeowner comes home, and not only is their house sparkling clean, but their garden gets a massive nutrient boost. They think you're some kind of miracle worker. They have no idea you just used a bit of clever chemistry to cover your tracks. But what if the worst happens? We live in the real world, and accidents do happen. I remember once, years ago, pulling a heavy hose around a corner and accidentally knocking over a drum of neat sodium hypochlorite right onto a customer's lawn. Absolute nightmare. If a heavy spill occurs, you cannot hesitate. You need immediate, intense dilution. Do not try to sweep it or ignore it. Scoop up what physical liquid you can and then flood that area with water for a good 30 minutes to an hour. You have to dilute it down to the point where it is completely inert before it can touch the deep root systems. If you act fast and apply the dilution is the solution to pollution rule, you can actually save the grass from any permanent damage. Look, if you want to be a professional contractor, you've got to treat the customer's property with respect. If you want more of these practical guides, training courses, or if you want to download our Softwashing Pro calculator app so you never get your mixing ratios wrong, head over to softwashing.uk. We've got everything you need to keep your business profitable and safe. All right, speak to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye for now.